Donna J. Jodhan presents Ask Donna, a weekly podcast on a plethora of topics and tips. Donna's podcast is split into 4 distinct sub-podcasts. The first week of the month is where Donna hosts her Ask the Bloggers podcast on such topics as overcoming bullies and bullying, tips on entrepreneurship, and protecting oneself from scams and scammers. The second week of the month is where Donna hosts her Ask the Coach podcast. A bit of this, a bit of that from her monthly Did You Know diary. The third week of the month is where Donna hosts her Ask the Homemaker podcast. Tips on everyday hints to help you take advantage of natural remedies and solutions. And the fourth week of the month is where Donna's podcast is all about her product review and a book review. Sit back and enjoy.
Hello, and I'm Donna J. Jodhan, your host for the Ask Donna podcast. Welcome to the jolly month of June and the first week of my June podcast, which I title Ask the Blogger. Each week I come to you in a different role. Week 1 is Ask the Blogger, Week 2 is Ask the Coach, Week 3 as Ask the Homemaker, and Week 4 as Ask the Reviewer. For this week, Week 1, it's going to be all about Ask the Blogger. But I cannot continue unless I thank all of you for continuing to write to me with your thoughts, your suggestions, your feedback, your comments, because it is only through you and with you that I can continue to do this. So, thank you, everybody, and thank you to my brother Mike in Montreal for continuing to produce my shows and to walk the walk with me. And hi to your wonderful wife, Heather. So, what do we have in store for you for this week? All right. Before I get into the features, and as I promised you in May, I want to make a big announcement, and it's all about me being on Etsy, E-T-S-E, all right? And what's happening here is that I've decided to start selling my pottery on Etsy. I've been a potter since 2015, and I'm selling my pottery because I want to try and encourage and motivate my listeners to imagine and to create. I want to show others that as a blind and vision impaired potter, I can do anything that I wish to put my mind to when it comes to creating products for pottery. So I'm going to put the link to my Etsy shopping mall in my show notes, because I think it's easier that way. It's more difficult for me to read it out to you and then you're trying to write it down. So you can either look at this link in my show notes on YouTube, or you can write to me at either askdonnaonblindlife@gmail.com or donnajodhan@gmail.com. Okay, that is my big announcement for this week. So for this month, like I said, the first week is Ask the Blogger. The second week is Ask the Coach. The third week is Ask the Homemaker. And for the fourth week, it's all about asking the reviewer and the writer. All right. So it's all about Ask the Blogger for this week. We're going to start with answering some questions from listeners. Okay. Here's the first question, and I chose these questions randomly out of my question bag. Okay. All right. Listener would like me to elaborate on bullying in the workplace. Bullying in the workplace takes place when a manager bullies an employee. when a manager bullies a fellow manager, when an employee bullies a fellow employee, or when an employee bullies a manager. These are common situations of bullying in the workplace. And bullying takes place when the bully raises their voice at the one that they're bullying, to threaten them, to intimidate them, to get them to do what they want to do. Okay? That is bullying in the workplace, and it's very, very common. Here's the next question. Listener would like to know more about those Revenue Canada scammers, common to Canadians. These scams with their scammers usually start appearing in January, and they probably, be pests until May or June. And what do? They set up automated phone calls to you where they offer to either fetch your refund for you or to help you pay off if you owe anything to Revenue Canada. These are too good to be true, and what you need to do is simply ignore these types of scams. They're no good. Okay? So that is what is my advice to anyone who wants to know more about scams and scammers and scams relating to Revenue Canada. Next question. Listener would like to know what to do when there's no accessibility or needs taken into account during an emergency situation. I will only talk about what you should do in Canada. If the emergency is Canadian-wide or Canada-wide, you go to your federal member of parliament. If the emergency is within your province, Ontario or Quebec, Nova Scotia or British Columbia, you go to your provincial member of parliament. Make sure that they are aware of who you are, what your request is, what your need is. Identify yourself clearly to your member of parliament, letting them know what your requirement is, what your need is, and why you need to be taken into account. All right, let's start with our tips on bullying. Bullying by the manager. The manager bullies subordinates. The manager bullies others into performing work tasks that he should be doing for himself, or he wants them to do as sideline tasks. Or the manager makes fun of others, either with what they're wearing, how they look, how they do their work. This is bullying by the manager. Next, here is a tip for the entrepreneur. How does one go about testing the market for entrepreneurship? Here are some points. Do you have the time? Do you have adequate time? Because simply saying you're testing the market for entrepreneurship is not enough. You've got to put aside some time, and even if you're working or you have a family or you have other commitments, try and tuck away enough time to test the market. You have to think of how committed are you to wanting to test the market, because they're very different ways of testing the market. So you've got to be able to put aside some time to find ways to test the market. Okay? And then what is your impetus? What is your reason for wanting to test the market? Are you tired of what you're doing? You want to change in a career? You want to become your own boss. You're tired of the gridlock in traffic, or you want to work from home. Are those sorts of facts impetuses for you to want to test the market? Okay, but just remember, in testing your market, you got to make sure you have enough time to do this. Okay? All right, let's go to tips on scamming and scammers. Here is one of the typical scams that continue to really, be a thorn in our side. When a TV and cable company comes after you with an offer that is too good to be true. All right? They offer you a great bundle that consists of or that contains cable, TV, and internet. The important thing here is for you to get out of this so-called offer what you are looking for, not what they are offering you. The trick of the trade is to find something that will benefit you, not benefit them. Oftentimes, and especially from those fly-by-night companies, it is too good to be true. And you've got to check out the legitimacy. So it's probably best for you to stick with those companies that are in the business, those that you know, not fly-by-night. Because oftentimes those fly-by-night companies try to attract you with cheap prices. They are no good. Okay? Finally, for this podcast, my thoughts for today. What are my thoughts on gift certificates in lieu of monetary compensation? Here's what I would say. If I am shopping at a place where I often go and buy stuff, like on Amazon or Best Buy or something like that, then a gift certificate would benefit me. But if I don't shop there, I would prefer monetary compensation. There are several ways to think of gift certificates versus monetary compensation, and it's this. Some people view gift certificates as a sort of a slap in the face or an insult, because it is. Some prefer monetary compensation, as I do, because I feel as if I'm getting more respect, I'm getting more value for what I offer as a service. But then again, I was told the other day that many agencies for persons with disabilities offer gift certificates so that they do not interfere with any of the social programs that persons are presently, under. So, for example, if a person is receiving subsistence, or I don't like the word subsistence, but if they're receiving monthly incomes from the government, and then they go and they receive compensation, that might interfere with their monthly income and their benefits may be cut. So this is why gift certificates are offered. I only found this out the other day, so I kind of understand. But in my case, I don't receive any monthly income from any government body, so I would prefer to receive compensation instead of a gift certificate. That's it for me for this month, folks. You guys have a good rest of the day, good rest of the week. I want to thank you again for stopping by. Do take care, please. And remember, you can take my podcasts anywhere, from the bedroom to the bathroom to the bus stop, and from the kitchen to the car. Write to me at askdonnaonblindlife@gmail.com or to donnajodhan@gmail.com. Take care now, and see you next week. Bye for now.
That's it for this week. Donna hopes that you enjoyed her podcast today. She thanks you for having taken the time to tune in and looks forward to being with you next week. Send your thoughts and feedback to Donna at AskDonna on linelife@gmail.com.